Good morning. I'm hot off the press with Lauren Daly, founder of Sustainaclean and Natrie. You'll have seen me testing some of those products this week. Lauren's having a busy time. She's been at an expo in the last 10 days. And I'm just really excited to meet with Lauren to hear her story and for us, the world, to hear about why eco-friendly cleaning and products are so important. Lauren, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you
Morning.
for having me. Really excited to be here.
Joyful and delighted. Let's just get straight into it because people want to hear from you, not me. How did you get into cleaning and creating this whole beautiful brand called Natrie?
So the cleaning I got into 10, 11 years ago. It's like a kind of part-time job at the weekends when my kids were really small and we just needed some extra money, as most people do get into it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
just me being me, that kind of snowballed into having my own cleaning company and having quite a few staff under that. Um, and kind of at the same time as I was starting the cleaning company, it was kind of the cleaning company I started just before lockdown, but during lockdown, I was having a lot more kind of allergic reactions to things. I don't know if it was just being in, I don't know what it was. Maybe, lots of viruses around, I don't know. But I was reacting to everything we were cleaning the house with. And this sounds really silly, but we had 2-year-old or almost 3-year-old twins and they were potty training.
I
And
know.
and we were at home a lot, obviously, and so it was a kind of perfect time. But my husband kept complaining that all the products I could clean with because my allergies, because I was reacting, just didn't smell nice or just weren't strong enough or those kind of things. So I thought, right, I'm going to create my own. And in that time, the cleaning company just grew because it's, I think, and then a service-based business kind of does, and then the products just, I mean, it takes a long time to develop a product, especially if you're as fussy as I am about what was going in them. So yeah, they took a long time. It took me kind of 3-4 years to really get them kind of where I wanted them to, and now we're here, and you've got both strands of the business kind of going.
Amazing. I've got two questions out of that. So this is where we're flying straight away. You talked about me being me. What does that mean?
Well, I've recently discovered that I'm ADHD, and I don't know if it's because of that. I think so, because it's kind of got that entrepreneurial link, doesn't it, really?
Right.
If I'm getting into something, I found out I was quite good at cleaning. I actually really enjoyed it in the end. And there was nothing against the company I was working for in terms of how they ran things exactly, but I wanted to do things slightly differently. Eco cleaning being one of them. I mean, I was reacting to all the products they gave me, and I just thought, this is wrong. Like, this is completely wrong. I remember the moment I was cleaning a shower thinking, I shouldn't be using this stuff. I won't say what brand it was, but a very well known kind of strong product. And my face was flushed, I was wheezing, I've developed a wheeze from it. And I've heard quite a few people say this. So then my brain just starts going, well, what can I do better? What can I do differently? And that's what I mean, me being me. I just decided, yeah, I can do things differently, and I can offer a company for people to work for where they don't feel like they're dying when they're in the shower, and then products that really work for those people.
And I hope that that's something we explore as we go through, because I think a lot of people don't appreciate just how long a cleaning professional is engaging quite up close and personal with products. It can be 8 hours every day, 5 or 6 days a week. And for people not really wanting to make that switch, it may be okay for you in your house when you're using products 1 hour a week. But when you're asking your cleaning professional to engage with that all day long as well, I think we're being a bit complicit with something that could really challenge the health of individuals. I want to move on, but we may loop back round. I'm making loads of notes already. Question 1, and I've got about 5 more questions. In a nutshell, then, and I think you have, but tell us what you and your business stand for.
So always ethical. So for me, being sustainable, it kind of encompasses everything. So it's being ethical in the way, not only the products we use. So we want to make sure that we're kind of using the best products that we can do a great job with, that aren't damaging our health, and looking at the supply chain as well. So kind of thinking about the packaging that things come in and what we can reuse and what we can reduce, but also, as I said, being ethical. So always treating my colleagues, my staff, well. Not only does that, increase how good they feel about working for you, but it increases loyalty, and we have a great team, and we don't have much kind of churn, which is quite unusual. And actually, I do take that across to my clients as well. Our clients are part of the business, part of the family, and this is for cleaning. And I was talking to a retailer at the trade show I went to, and these kind of values will come across to the products as well. We want to work closely with retailers. We want to have really great relationships, and just build things ethically, really. So I think ethically, the things that would sum up my businesses are kind of ethical, sustainable, friendly, and just nice, actually.
Fantastic. So, I mean, my next question, and just so, how big was your team when you decided I'm going to start a cleaning product brand as well?
Really small. So they kind of started at the same time, but just one kind of took off, and one took a long time to develop. But I think I had one self-employed subcontractor, actually. So completely, really tiny. There was me and her doing all the cleaning.
But I remember that time in my business, and it was full on, because when you're fully in, so I'm quite impressed that you have brain space and capacity to then start developing this. And I think I remember speaking to you about 4 years ago when I was fairly new in Sussex, and you were saying, I've got this idea and I'm testing stuff. How on earth do you go from being a cleaning operative to figuring out how to, one, make a cleaning product at a commercial level?
Whoa, very slowly. I mean, again, with the kind of ADHD type thing, I just go down rabbit holes of, like, I always say, I know, I hate being stuck to my mobile phone, but if I hadn't have had like a smartphone where I could just be like Googling stuff while I was cooking, or like looking after the twins and my other kids, it wouldn't have happened. But I just Googled everything, and I researched literally every product, like I think in America and England at the time. And I looked at all the ingredients, and then I got the ingredients, and then I just tested them, like, while I was cleaning. And then I kind of, and then I got a freelance chemist, so I could be in control of what was going in them. So it was very much like a collaborative process. And then you just start contacting manufacturers and things, and then you learn a lot by them just saying, nope, that's terrible, go away. And you just keep going. I just think, it's a lot of tenacity. You just have to keep going and just keep researching. I always find every little conversation you have with someone will give you a tiny bit of information, and then you just kind of compile all that information. That's the way I work. I know other people work differently, but I just work that way, from the bottom up.
That's really incredible. I'm deeply inspired, because I had an idea to build a cleaning product brand maybe 10 years ago, and 10 years on, I still haven't done that. So when I see someone like you really going for it, it's so inspiring. So I mean, at that point, we're talking what, four-ish years ago, there were quite a few products on the market, quite a few eco-friendly products on the market, and I think it's really ballooned since then. What gap did you see, and what do you feel Natrie is answering?
Sorry. So for me, it's all centered around, yes, they're eco, they're definitely eco, but for me, it's a kind of given. I don't understand when products come out now that aren't kind of sustainable or eco. So for me, I'm really focusing on the health message. So for me, it's low allergen. So we have a unfragranced version, and we have a fragrance version, and the fragrance is also low allergen. So if like me, you struggle with almost all smells, you can probably use it. And then we have the fragrance-free version for people who are really, really, really sensitive to fragrances. So the whole thing has been developed to be low allergen. Every single thing that is put in it is low allergen, and it's non-harmful to aquatic life, which kind of, so that was a really important one to me. Even in concentrated form, I didn't want that to be anywhere near it. And it's hormone friendly, so there's absolutely no endocrine disruptors in it.
What?
And that has made development
Sorry.
really.
Stop the press. Tell me more about that. Because by saying that, you're indicating that other products aren't.
Oh yeah, no, a lot aren't. I mean, I don't have loads of research off the top of my head, but things like emulsifiers, and they're in food. I mean, we can't get away from them, but they're also in loads of products. So the main emulsifiers, which, I mean, they're in medicines, they're in everything. Some of them are, if you know, they are an endocrine disruptor, which means that they're in a lot of products. I mean, a lot. And in fact, it's made development really hard. And we do have a kind of bathroom product, because I live in the south and the lime scale is bad. But it's been delayed quite significantly because I won't let them put certain emulsifiers in, and it just makes it a little bit cloudier and just kind of not as nice to kind of work with. So yeah, it's hard. It's actually really hard to get away from those kind of products. But the one, the all-purpose, it hasn't got anything like that in. In fact, it doesn't even have any preservatives in. We use the pH scale to kind of bolster the cleaning, but also to allow it not to have a preservative in and still be safe. So yeah, wow. Unfortunately, there are a lot of endocrine disruptors in our life everywhere we go.
That's the rabbit hole I'm going down today. So that's interesting. Yeah. And I do say I've been immersed in your product all week. And I get the sneezes quite a lot when I use products or sprays or anything. And I haven't had that. And with my eco-friendly journey, I'm going down real natural products that have no smell. So that's one of the downsides. I'll sometimes use essential oils, but I am loving the smell of this. I find most smells now quite overwhelming, but I'm loving the smell. It's bergamot and lime, and it's gorgeous. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I love that. So I was just going to say, yes. So the other thing I forgot to mention is I didn't want any single-use packaging at all in the product. So it's multi-fill. So that can be quite hard to explain to people, but it's a 100 ml bottle, and you can get four dilutions, so 500 mils out of it. So it's like a really small bottle, and you can pop that under your sink, and that will replace, I think we've worked out, it replaces about 30 plastic bottles a year for the average consumer. That's not for a cleaner. It would be a lot more for a cleaner.
Wow. Okay. So how do you balance commercial success with staying true to your ethics and values?
I do think it makes it harder. I think, especially, I mean, if I think of the cleaning business, if especially with all the increased product prices over the years, it does kind of eat into your margin. And I'm not choosing the I do have to be careful, because as you said, it is a balance. But I'm not choosing the cheapest products for my cleaners to clean with. So there is a kind of financial implication. I also think when you think about kind of sustainability and being ethical as well, that possibly there can be a slight trade-off in kind of how you treat people. So you're kind of thinking of the human impact of your pricing as well. I think. I mean, I do personally struggle with that as well. I'm sure there's things like, I'm sure you could give me advice around that. And with the products, I have found it a really hard balance, because just that simple choice of not wanting single-use packaging, because to me, if it's a single-use concentrate, it doesn't matter what material it is, it's single-use packaging. We're just using something and then chucking it or recycling it. That has had an implication on it appearing to be more expensive, even though when you break it down per bottle, it isn't. But yeah, so as you said, it's always a balance, and I think you're constantly, every decision you make, you're thinking, well, that's going to cost more, but it's doing the right thing. So it's really just trying trying to carefully balance all of that all the time, really. So I think it does make things more complicated. Yeah.
Agreed. One of our big values is paying the real living wage. And I often say it's a sword we'll die on, potentially, because you have to have, for me, you have to have a line in the sand that you're not prepared to cross. But with that comes costs, sacrifices, and challenges. So I hear you. The struggle is real, but it's big picture stuff, isn't it? At the end of the day, we're talking about people, the planet, and well-being and sustainability of all of that. So we've got to keep going. Have you seen, do you feel that you've seen attitudes shift in the UK in terms of being eco-friendly, being sustainable? And I'm talking about, because I think you straddle two worlds, like the consumer and other businesses. Any thoughts on that?
I think it is improving. I don't think it's improving quickly enough. I think, as you said earlier, I think people don't think about cleaning products necessarily when they think about like eco swaps. I mean, we do a lot, but I think there is a large percentage kind of the population who kind of wouldn't put the two together, and they just kind of buy what's on the shelf, and then they just buy what they've always bought. You know, they'll shove the bleach down the toilet, and because it's what you've always done. But I do think, we probably do get more inquiries from people who are really interested in the eco cleaning side of things, so that's good. And obviously on the consumer market, I think things things are improving, and there's some brilliant kind of older brands that have paved the way for that as well. So I do think it's improving, but I just think there's not enough knowledge about the fact that what goes down, think about what you're spraying is going into our bodies, is going into the environment, and it's going down the waterways. And I think people don't always think about that enough.
Agreed. Yes, agreed. Again, I think people, I'm like, there are still products in my house that I look at with guilt and shame and think, I need to get rid of those. But I think, again, we're just so used to thinking about, oh, I'm in my little vacuum. What difference am I making?
Yeah.
There's that collective impact that's happening from all of us, and especially the waterways. I think we just don't think enough about water in this country and how fortunate we are to have access to it, first of all, but also the damage that we're doing to the quality of our water. So definitely, we're both coastal based people, so aquatic life and all of those things are important, I know, to you, and certainly to me. So I'm rambling, sorry, because this is a subject I'm so fascinated by, and it's something that I'm in the middle of journeying through. So I guess for people like me and other cleaning business owners, in fact, other business owners, because we've all got cleaning to have to happen in our environment. What advice would you give to people around making their operations more sustainable? Like, where would you get started?
Oh gosh. I think it can feel really overwhelming, can't it? I mean, I'm not perfect. I am always on a journey as well. I think people say, don't they, just start with one thing, and then it builds and builds. In terms of products, do what you're doing, test them out, find a product that you think works, replace that, make a simple swap, and then make one more and keep going. I mean, as we know, as cleaners, I would also say reduce the amount of products you have, because you don't need like 6 or 7, really, do you? You only do need a few. And one thing we found is, again, like thinking about what packaging things come in, what could you reuse? Could you make something that's designed to be single use, multi-use? Could you refill it somehow? Could you, just ask yourself those little questions, because those are actually quite easy swaps to make, and they will save you money.
I love that. That's a really practical thing. So even just thinking about how could I refill my bottles, and I agree with that. I have bottle, like I've got a hand wash pump that was one brand and now is refilled over and over again with another brand. Love the mechanism, but didn't love the product. So yeah, that's a really easy win, actually. And thank you for that. I mean, one of the things that we're trying out to try and impact our entire community is something called Just One Swap, and it's around that whole idea, really doing some of the legwork research for people around key areas of cleaning and encouraging people to make just one swap once a month, or when that bottle runs out, thinking about what comes next. Could I refill that bottle? I didn't think about that, so we're actually going to do a whole thing on that. Or what product could I use that could be refillable over and over again? So that's absolutely brilliant advice. I've got one last question before the surprise question. What would you say is one lesson or a couple of lessons that you've learned about leadership or resilience through building both Sustainaclean and Natrie?
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of, it's a learning curve, isn't it? That's for sure. Yeah. I have learned that I prefer to be very collaborative as a leader. I prefer to work with people, coming to kind of decisions that benefit all of us. But with that, I have struggled in the past with kind of, making some tough decisions. So for me, I guess my biggest learning has been, how to balance those two things, that really maintain that kind of, I am the leader here and I am kind of in charge, but I do want a collaborative working process. But yeah, finding that fine balance has been my learning curve, really. But I think we're there. I think we're there now. We've got a really good team.
I mean, there's that old proverb, isn't there? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together or go in company.
Yeah.
Definitely the harder path, but the gains are bigger in the long run.
So.
I love that collaboration. And I think we could all learn something from that as leaders, for sure. So the surprise question, which I have to say made me squirm when Delia Cannings, our guest from last month, chair of the British Cleaning Council, posed this question for you, is how often should people clean their mattresses? And indeed, how often do you, Lauren Daly, clean your mattress?
I believe it's once a month. Vacuuming. But I'm not sure that I do that.
Yes, me too.
I would say, if I was very honest, it was a lot less than that. And if I do I have used that. No, I don't know if this is not an area of my expertise, but I have used the thing where you put a bit of bicarb down and leave it and kind of then vacuum that up.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say how often I've done it, but I've done it.
That's all we need to know for now. And I pose that question to anybody listening. When is the last time you vacuumed your mattress? I'm just going to drop that and leave that there for the day. Happy Wednesday. So that really is everything. This has been really informational, Lauren, and actually what it's left me with is loads more questions and things to think about. Things that I loved that you said were really practical things, like what about the bottles that you use? Could you just actually reuse those? That we've got to remember this is about people's health as well, and not just the people coming into our homes to clean, but our health, the health of our children, families, and the health of our sea life. So it's not just about us. And also that it is possible to have effective cleaning products that do the job, that are eco-friendly, and that there are people like you that have sweated the small details so that we can just make easy purchasing decisions, knowing that the hard thinking has been done. Things to consider, hormone-friendly cleaning products. That's blown my mind. So I'm off to work that out. And then just that rallying cry to everyone. If you made just one swap at the end of every cleaning bottle, at the end of a year or at the end of 2 years, that could have a massive impact and a long-lasting impact. Like it's a legacy thing that you could start today with the thing that you're using to clean your homes. And finally, the last point, and it's the point that I bang on to most of my cleaning colleagues, we don't need 30 bottles of things to clean our house. Like when I started, I realized that you probably could go very far with a dab of washing up liquid and a microfiber cloth, or even a microfiber cloth and water. So really start to think about that as well. Less is definitely more. Lauren, where can people find you? Where is your cleaning business based, and what area do you service, and how can we get our hands on your beautiful product?
So my cleaning business is sustainaclean.co.uk, and it is based in Sussex, mainly around the kind of Horsham area, but we go as far down as Hove as well. And yeah, so that's that one. And the Natrie's products, we're available on our website at the moment, natrie.com, and soon will be in Amazon, but at the moment, just head straight to the website.
Brilliant. I'll put all of those links in the copy as well. It's been absolutely delightful. Good luck with both ventures. I know they're going to fly. Like get your hands and test Natrie, people. It really is fabulous. I'm loving it. Loving every word. Thank you for coming in, Lauren, and I hope the rest of your day goes well.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.